relationship with banks matter, and that matters the most, right? They see your credit score, but what they also have, a lot of people don't know, is they have an internal relationship score, right? So the more products that you have with these banks, the more fundable, the more appealing you look to them.
What do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work out?
It doesn't even enter my consciousness.
What's going on, guys? Demetris Ford, your host of Through the Line Casting Studio podcast. I am here with another exciting guest. Not only is he changing lives, but he's changing credit. Mr. Artie Perez with the Credit Repair Services. The man is gifted. He's young. He's talented. Of course, this show, Through the Line podcast, is not only for people who start well, but they finish through the line with anything that they get themselves into in life. Mr. Artie, how you feeling today, my brother?
Man, I can't complain, bro. I'm glad I'm here. I'm grateful. I'm blessed. I had the honor to come on here and be on the show with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm here to tell you.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited about this segment with you in specific, man, because you got a lot of knowledge. Knowledge is power to me. And I feel like a lot of things get misconstrued, especially in your industry and your field. And you're very beneficial serving in the industry that is very beneficial for a lot of people in the world today. Even me personally, myself, I have used Mr. Artie Perez, and I continue to use Mr. Artie Perez with his company. Go ahead and tell the folks where people can find you on Instagram and all the socials.
Yeah. So on my personal page is Artie Perez, at Artie Perez _, or on my business page is at The Credit Connect _ as well. You can find me there on Facebook at The Credit Connect as well. My website, www.getcreditconnect.com. You reach me on all platforms.
The Credit Connect. You guys heard it there first. We're doing a lot of major things for people, and we're expanding. Most of all, we're networking. Of course, this is what this podcast is for. Before we get into your business side, Artie, let me hear a little bit about yourself, man. Originally, you said you're from up north.
Yeah, originally I'm up from New York, but I've been out in Dallas for quite some time.
Y'all just won a championship.
Yeah.
I'm
a Knicks fan.
Okay.
I'm a Giants fan. I can't be too excited about that right now. We got a couple of Super Bowls under our belt, but I'm excited. I couldn't make it out there for the parade, but they out there, they're wilding.
Yes, sir. The spirit lives within. The spirit lives within. So a little bit about your upbringing, man. And before we get into how you even aspired to be inside of the credit repair industry, what brought you up to this day? Let's give it here a little bit of story and background about you and yourself.
Yeah. So being in the credit industry, man, I mean, what got me here today, I was inspired to help others because I once did it for myself, right? Growing up as minorities, we didn't get taught the idea of credit. We didn't know what credit was. We didn't know how to capitalize on credit. We didn't know what credit could do for us, right? So growing up, I really didn't have the knowledge of credit whatsoever. I decided, I moved to Austin at the age of, I think, 18, 19, right after college. And I just, enjoyed my time out there. And then I decided, I moved out there and one of my friends was in the IT field.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about IT. I was interested in all of the material things that he had, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that point in time in my life, I thought materialism was everything. So got interested in that. I was actually on my way. I was 1 year away from finishing my degree in kinesiology and nutrition.
Okay.
I decided to drop from that and switch over into the IT field.
So kinesiology always sparks the attention of ex-athlete. You play some ball?
I did play ball. But
yes, sir.
Before I tore the lefty and the righty.
Wow.
Both MCLs. Decided, I blew my knees out and I knew, being at 5'10", I'm not going to no league. So
there's a lot of guys who's 5'10" in the league.
Yeah.
They dogs. They are. They fast.
At that time, my mind was what I wanted for myself in the future. I wanted to be a business owner, right? I wanted to have that family. I wanted to be able to be an entrepreneur for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that you can't do that when you're in the league, right? You have, what's the word for it? You have the ability to do so at a much faster pace.
Absolutely, because you got the financial backing and you got the leverage and the promotion. Absolutely.
Right. But for myself, man, it all started after I moved back from Austin. I moved back to Dallas at the age of 22. actually 23, right when COVID kind of kicked off. So during that time, I was really interested in owning my own property, right? And I didn't know anything about credit. I didn't know how to fix credit, how to do anything. But I looked at my credit report and I saw that there was a bunch of things on my score holding my score down. I decided to study credit, study how to fix credit, credit repair, what are the factors that make up your credit score. And I decided to do it myself, sending dispute letters, figuring out what are the specific FCRA laws and violations that can and can't pertain to your credit report, what you can and can't have on your credit report, statute of limitations, how long things can actually be on your credit report. I decided to fix it for myself. And so gracefully, by the grace of God, I was able at the age of 23 to buy my own first property.
Okay, congratulations.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
You did it before I did.
At 23, I bought my first property. I am now 30, so times have changed, but I was able to get my credit score up to a 780.
Okay.
So at the age of 23, 780 credit score. And not only that, I understood how credit worked and how to leverage credit. So I made sure I established a lot of relationships with a lot of different banks, credit unions, even the big banks, right? The Chase and the Navy Federals, the
Absolutely.
Relationship with banks matter, and that matters the most, right? They see your credit score, but what they also have, a lot of people don't know, is they have an internal relationship score, right? So the more products that you have with these banks, the more fundable, the more appealing you look to them.
Okay. And they're the ones that, of course, the banks are the ones that are able to give you more leverage of funds.
Right.
So you can build that trust and establishment as far as being able to get loans. Okay. So before we even get down deep into that side of the business, a lot of people have this understanding of utilizing credit, whether you stay away from credit. I was taught, hey, you don't go get credit cards, you stay away from it, don't go in debt. Right?
Yeah.
So when it comes down to leveraging credit, which is essentially debt acquired,
Right.
how do you go best about leveraging debt and even acquiring debt to be able to help you get liquid cash flow?
That's a great question. A lot of people are scared of credit, but that's because, like you said, knowledge is power, right? When you don't know, you can't do. So if you don't know better, you won't do better.
Exactly.
For myself specifically, at the age of 23, I had $100,000 worth of credit cards, not debt, in available funding. So between 4 or 5 different banks, I had Navy Federal $30,000 credit card at the age of 23.
Yeah.
Right? Because I understood how these how the banks work and how to play their game. So for me, as a hack, I might give y'all some free sauce, coming on later on, but there's a hack with Navy Federal that you can go get you some good high limit credit cards. But for me, I had access to that high amount of credit. Now, at that time, I didn't know how to use it. But the trick is using other people's money, right? So for instance, if you have a business and you have a credit card at 0% interest for 12 months, use that for running ads. Use that for other things that can generate additional revenue into your business. And then at that 12-month mark, mind you, you have 0% interest. So all the revenue that you're accruing monthly, you can stack that up and then pay that credit card balance and still be bringing in revenue. I tell people all the time, look, if I go get you funding, if I get you $150,000 in funding, I get a little percentage of it, right? But if I get you $150,000 in funding and you don't know what you're going to do with the money and you have 0% interest for 12 months, don't go get funding.
Exactly.
Figure out what you want to do, figure out your idea, and then let's go get the funding.
You got to figure out those leverage points.
You have to.
Okay, so you got to have a plan. And guys, what he's saying here today is don't just go qualify to be able to have the available funding, because the time clock starts, right?
The moment you accept that money.
You need to be strategic whenever you do take out a loan. And shoot, even personal loans, with borrowing money from people.
Yeah,
I got some.
About that.
Yeah. I got a lot of people owe me some money, but man, they never have a plan, because a lot of people that fiend for money is because they're in a hole momentarily and they just want to feel comfortable again. Right. They don't have a plan. So if you're going to borrow or money from a personal or even bank or a union or whatever, you need to be able to have a strategic plan on how to double, triple, quadruple, 10x that amount of money, right? So you need to have a business plan or a strategy or whatever you may happen to call it to be able to capitalize on these things. And that's a very vital piece whenever you're trying to start a business.
100%. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with that one. Like, if you aren't sure of what you're going to do with the funding, maybe wait until you establish a plan, right? And I tell people all the time, when you come get funding, you can buy a business that's already generating revenue. If you go get $150,000 in funding and you go on a website, there's certain websites out there that you can look for businesses that are being sold by owners. Mm-hmm. They may require 10% down and that's it. So if they're selling the business for $500,000 and you only got to put down $50,000, but you have $150,000 available, you put the $50,000 down,
leverage the rest of that $100,000 to be able to make the business better of whatever the owner is already struggling with.
Exactly. If that business is bringing in $20,000, $30,000 a month, right, and it only costs you $50,000 up front, mm-hmm. that's a win-win.
Yeah,
I'll put down the $50,000 to bring in. Even if everybody else has to get paid and you're still making $10,000, $20,000 a month, that's revenue that you're making off of other people's money.
Exactly.
Utilize other people's money to fast track your growth in your business, mm-hmm. right? For me, I didn't use anybody else's money when it came to my business, right? I started everything from scratch for myself. Mm-hmm. But however, my goal is not to chase the money, right? The money is going to come. I don't care about chasing the money. My goal is to help other people, right? If you have a goal and you're trying to purchase a home, I don't lead with, hey, yeah, I do credit repair. I lead with, what's your goal?
Exactly.
Let's get you there through credit.
Exactly. So credit being a very valuable tool to be able to leverage when it comes to business growth, even personal growth. Right. Let's talk about a little bit of personal growth here on the personal credit side. How does it look whenever you start your process? What do people need to know before they come to you and contact you to reach out to be able to put themselves in a better position so you can help them gain better results?
Right. First thing I'll say is, please do not ask me what will my credit score be in 2 weeks. I get that question left and right a million times. I can't answer that question. And even if I wanted to, I don't know the answer, right? What I need to see first is how your credit profile is structured. A lot of people care about your credit score. Yes, credit score matters, but what matters more than your credit score is your credit profile, how your profile is structured, right? Your credit score is made up of 5 different things, right? Your payment history, credit utilization, length of credit, the types of credit, and your recent activity, right? Your utilization and your payment history are the 2 biggest factors on your credit report. If you're missing a payment, I say there's one late payment, just one, can drop your credit score 150 points. So imagine, I'll talk about student loans. You have people out here with 10, 12 different student loan accounts on their credit report, right? And during COVID, a lot of these student loan payments were deferred, mm-hmm. right? And with these student loan aid companies, and what they do is they will send your account back into payment status mm-hmm. without you knowing. They will not alert you that your payments are due again. So that 90-day mark hits,
you're accumulating on those late pays.
You're accumulating late payments. But think about it. If you have 12 different student loan accounts, you're not getting hit one time.
You're getting hit 12,
every single 15. Account was getting hit with a late payment.
Yeah.
And remember what I just said, one late payment can drop you 100, 150 points. So imagine what 12 late payments are.
So now you're looking at 150, 200 credit score.
Hey, look, you can't get that low, but I hope nobody out there.
He said it can't get that low.
Yeah. But surprisingly, like I tell people all the time, don't sit here and focus on the credit score during the process of our credit repair, right? Mm-hmm. Because your score is going to fluctuate throughout this process, right? Why? Because we're removing negative items. Those negative items have account history. They have age. So when you're removing age off your credit report,
you're kind of playing with the needles a little bit.
Playing with the needles, right? So I tell people, let's not strictly focus on the credit score only. Let's look at your credit profile. Mm-hmm. If I pull your report again and you have 12 collections and 13 positive accounts, My goal is to only attack the negative items that are hurting your score. I'm not going to touch anything that's impacting your score in a positive manner, right? When I remove the negative items, there's a chance that your score could drop. Just most of the time, though, I see scores increase, and I mean by drastic numbers, right? We've tapped in together, and it's probably been about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's safe to say that you've seen a little bit of results, right? You got your goals of your own.
Absolutely.
And again, and when you approached me about it, I said, no, you know what? I think I even approached you about it.
Yeah.
You told me the situation and what you were trying to do. And I said, let me help you out.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely so.
And I looked at your profile. I saw the certain things that were hurting there. Within 2 weeks, I mean, you checked the app just today.
Yeah, we went about 60 points.
So
in 2 weeks.
I mean, it's possible. Yeah. Now, I will say everybody's results are not the same, right? So just because you see somebody get a 150-point increase on Equifax or a TransUnion or Experian, that does not mean that you will also have those same results. Doesn't mean it's not possible, but I want people to get that idea out of their head that just because someone else saw these results, I need to see the exact same results, right? Everybody's credit profile is different. Everybody has different items on their report, right?
Yep. It's just kind of like the gym. Whenever I used to personal train, man, I used to tell people all the time, even in the roofing industry where I'm at now, I'm like, hey, you can have the same exact build style house and 2 different insurance companies, right? And just because I got them approved for 50,000 and yours came in at 30, it's different scenarios and situations, the reason why the money comes and goes in the way that the money flows. So whenever you're looking at results, you can't ever base it off. And just life totality, you can never base your process with anybody else's to be able to get the results that they attain. And that's something that a lot of people need to understand and need to know. Okay, going from personal credit to business side of credit. Establishing business credit. A lot of people want to establish their own business. A lot of people want to open their own business. What's a piece of advice to be able to establish your personal credit, gearing yourself for success when it comes down to starting your own business and establishing business line of credit?
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand this, but when you're just starting out with your business, you are typically going to have to personally guarantee yourself. So what that means is, if I start a new LLC today and I want to go get funding for that LLC, your LLC doesn't have any history. Your credit profile on your LLC doesn't have anything. So how are the banks going to want to give you $150,000, $200,000 in funding when they have no comparisons on here?
So how do you establish that first step when it comes down to business or credibility?
Right. So going back to that piece, I tell people you're typically going to have to personally guarantee. But when you do that, you can still be working on building your business profile, right? You can go get trade lines. You can go pay for net 30 accounts, right? A net 30 account is, I can go to a specific website, invoice, place an order for a certain amount of items, right? And tell them, I don't want to be billed immediately. I want to be billed in net 30 terms. They have net 60 terms.
Okay. Pause. Say that one more time.
Yeah. So you have options, right? On the business side, you can go to specific websites. There's Quill, there's Office Granger, there's a million other websites. I can drop that for y'all at a later time, but you can go there, place an order for whatever value of, like whatever your cart value is. Let's say it's $100, right? You can place an order, but instead of paying at that exact moment, you have an option for a net 30 account.
Y'all getting these gems right now. Hey, $1 million worth of game, and this ain't even Gilly.
Yeah.
All right. So this is what we doing.
Yeah.
Like, y'all need to pay attention to this stuff, because a lot of people struggle in life because they don't seek to find the knowledge to be able to make life more manageable.
Right.
And there's knowledge and free game every single like spectrum of that. Like, man, it's just man, and this is why we do this stuff, you know.
Look, if you go on my business Instagram, I drop free gems every day. I mean, there's people out there who would charge you for bare minimum knowledge, right? I'm not looking to get rich off of anybody. That's not why I'm here. Again, like I mentioned, my goal, you tell me your goal, and my goal is to get you to your goal through credit, right? I'm not looking to get rich off of you. That's not how I operate as a person. That's not how I operate as a business. That's just not how I move, right? So back to that net 30 thing, right? You have options. So net 7 accounts for gas cards. You have net 30 accounts, net 60 accounts. And what that means is you can place your order and you have 30 days from the date that order is placed to make that full payment. The hack is once you receive your order or within 7 days, probably at the 7-day mark, make that full payment. That's going to get reported to your credit for your business side.
That you're making early payments and full payments. That's going to establish more credibility. Exactly. Absolutely so. And that is the same way with the credit card utilization, even on the personal side too, right?
Man, credit card utilization, that's what kills a lot of people. Right?
So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about a credit card utilization. When is the right time to be able to pay your card down and what's the percentage? Because you hear it all the time. Oh, you should leave 30% of use to show that, you know, whenever you report, your report date. Tell us a little bit about that. What's the truth and what's all the myths behind this stuff?
Yeah, man. So like credit utilization, that's the total amount that you currently owe divided by the total amount of available credit that you have, right? So what that means is if you have a credit card with $1,000 and you're using $700 out of that $1,000, you are at 70% utilization. That is way too high. When the banks look at you, they look at that as this is this person's credit limit. They're using majority of that money. It's likely going to take them a little bit longer to pay this money back. And there's a chance that they may be late on this payment. So
it makes them a liability.
It makes high risk. High risk.
So you're looking at guys who are swimming really well. Then you got that person that even if you forget to make the payment, if you do have the funding for you forget, whenever it reports to the bank, they look and evaluate you and they're like, he's drowning. He can't make that payment. That's the reason why his utilization is so high.
That's exactly
because he can't rotate those recurring payments. Right. So he's a high risk liability, which is going to hurt your credit score.
Look, you hit the nail on the head. And with that, I tell people all the time, there are 2 specific dates that you need to, and I emphasize need to focus on when it comes to your credit profile, right? On your credit cards, you have a statement closing date, you have a payment due date. A lot of people misconstrue this concept. They see payment due date and they say, if my minimum payment is $500, on that due date, I'm going to pay $500. No, your statement closing date, that's the date that you need to focus on. Why? Because that is the specific date that these banks report your balance to the credit bureaus. So when that statement closing date comes, if you have not made a payment, they're saying that you're using $500 out of your $1,000 credit card. That's 50% utilization. Your credit score is going to drop. Now, what you can do and what the hack is and what you should be doing is always check your statement. Look for when your statement closing date is. And 5 to 7 days before that statement date,
pay it down.
Pay the full credit card off. And if you can't pay it off all the way, pay as much as you can.
To get it underneath that 30% utilization.
I want to erase that whole 30% utilization from everybody's mind.
Okay.
Why? Because 30% is where they typically want you to be under. But when they see you at 30%, it's like, okay, it's okay, but it's not the best that it could be, right? You want to be anywhere between that 1% and 7% range.
Okay.
So if you have 10 different credit cards and your utilization is higher in all of them, make sure you pay attention to the statement closing date on all of them. And the hack is pay all of them off if possible and leave a balance on one credit card. That one credit card, you want it to be between 1% and 7%. All of these other banks are reporting 0% utilization, which is great. This one bank is reporting anywhere between 1% and 7%. Your credit score will increase.
Dramatic.
I've done it for myself.
Yeah. Okay.
I consistently do it for myself.
Okay.
And because I know when the statement closing date is, I pay off my credit card in full. So the statement that shows to the bureaus is I owe $0 on my credit card consistently.
So me and you kind of talked on the back end. Yeah. You are working on your own personal The Credit Guru Repair, The Credit Connect ebook.
Yeah.
Okay. When are you planning to drop that so everybody can kind of understand when to be on the lookout for that stuff?
Yeah. So I got a few different things. So on my website currently, if you didn't catch it earlier, www.getcreditconnect.com, I have a free ebook on there. You can visit the website, and what that free ebook is 5 things that you can legally, and when I say legally, I mean there are specific laws in place. You can use these laws to remove certain things off of your credit report. That comes from student loans. If you were a victim of identity theft, there's so many different things that are in that ebook. You can get that for free by visiting my website. But I'm also in the background, as he mentioned, is I'm looking to drop a whole series, a bundle, right? I want to have 10, 12, 15 different ebooks that people can learn different things off of.
Mm-hmm. You're also in the business helping people. You have a package, a very special package on your website, right? To be able to establish different services for people, first-time entrepreneurs, people who don't really know how to establish a LLC legit, filing with whatever state that they happen to reside in. Tell us a little bit about those services.
Yeah. So that plan hasn't been released to the public yet.
I'm sorry.
Now that he brought it up, I'm going to go ahead and make the plan.
I'm paying attention.
He's paying attention to detail. Look, so I got a specific plan. You can see it on my website, but with that plan, it's more so for people who are looking to establish business credit, right? So if you want to start an LLC, you haven't even established your LLC, you come find me. Go on my website, click that plan, click notify me. You can sign up and be notified the moment that plan goes live. With that specific plan, I'll read to you the specific list of things that I will do for you if you get this plan. We'll do a business setup checklist. We'll check if the business name is available with the Secretary of State, get you your virtual business address, get you your virtual business phone number, register a domain, and I will personally create you a website. Create a business email account. We'll form your LLC and choose a registered agent for you. We'll apply for an EIN number. If you don't know what an EIN number is basically your social security number for your business.
Employment identification number.
Exactly, right? We'll file your articles of organization, creating an operating agreement. And that's just for the setup. We also have an online presence where we'll list your business on Google, Yelp, 411, Bing, just to make sure that you have business credit and business presence established, right? What sense does it make to create a business and no one knows who your business is? No one knows about your business. If your business is not listed anywhere, nobody can find you. Nobody can come get your services if your business isn't listed anywhere.
For sure. And within the operating agreement, for those who don't know what an operating agreement is, it's a business operation agreement between yourself and any other partners, managing partners that happens to contribute to that business, of them knowing the percentage of equity, the shares, and also the responsibilities of what they have to act as in that business. Once again, this is not $1 million worth of game, but this is through the line.
Which is through the line.
Yes, sir. So guys, if y'all need to dive deep within, I want to go all day with this stuff. And I'm going to give you a scenario here, just for example, before we get off here. But if you guys want to know more about credit repair and the things that Mr. Perez right here to my left has to offer, go check him out. He has a lot of knowledge that he can't really give out here because, of course, that's why his business is so valuable, because you need to pay for those services, right? So, for example, before we get out of here, I want to give you a scenario. I'm coming to you. I've never had a credit card. My parents told me to never mess with credit. No credit history. I need to get a credit card because I want to establish myself more as far as leverage. I want to gain business credibility. I want to gain personal credibility. My credit score is sitting at a 620, right? And I can't really purchase anything because I have no credit history. So no one can trust me as far as banking and loans.
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to do?
I'm going to tell you this first. There's websites out there that you can pay a monthly price.
Oh, let me add something else to you. I have a job. I'm corporate, and on paper, I am salary to make $95,000 a year, but my take home is truly $71K.
Yeah. And that's perfectly fine. There are specific websites out there that you can visit and pay this is free. Look, free game, right? You can go to specific websites, right? We have Credit Strong, we have Kovo, we have. I mean, there's a bunch of them. Ava. There's a bunch of different things that you can use and pay a monthly subscription. So what I'll tell you is this: if you go to Credit Strong, for instance, they have an account on there, $15,000. The account doesn't cost you $15,000. You pay a monthly payment of, let's just say, $100 a month. You pay $100 a month until you reach that $15,000 mark. But the first time you make that payment, they're going to report that on your credit report. So this is establishing history on your report for the small price of $100 a month. So $100 a month, you pay that until you reach that $15,000. At the end of that term, when you reach $15,000, they send you your $15,000 back. So think of it as a savings account you're paying into every single month. The moment you complete that last payment, they release those funds right back to you.
Okay.
What did you just do? You established credit history. You established on-time payment history. You established age of credit, because it takes you, if you're making $100 a month for $15,000, it's 15 months worth of payments that you're making. So you have a year and some change of on-time payment history.
15,000, 1,500.
There's different ones.
Yeah, different ones. Okay.
But another thing that I tell people all the time is people are scared, or they have a misconception about credit unions. They think if I go to a credit union, that means I have bad credit. No, credit unions are so generous when it comes to giving out money, giving out credit cards. Look, I told y'all earlier I had a Navy Federal hack. I'll give it to y'all. You know, I charged for this, but you know, I'm here with my guys, so I'll give it out the game for free.
Yes, sir.
You open up an account with a credit union. What you want to do is open up a business, or excuse me, not business. You want to open up the personal checking, personal savings, and then ask them if they have a pledge loan or credit builder account. What you want to say is, look, I have $1,000 in my account right here. I want to give this money to you guys so you can give me a pledge loan. What they'll do is they'll hold your $1,000 for a few days. They'll release that as a secure loan. You take 90 or 95% of that $1,000 that you have, pay that loan down. The next time it reports that you've made 95% of your payment already. You put the rest on auto pay for the next 6 months to a year, just to show consistent on-time payment history. Doing that alone can give you anywhere between a 20 and 40 point increase on your credit score.
Absolutely so. And then at Navy Federal Credit Union, because whenever I first got into credit, because I didn't have credit established whenever I got older and started getting into the game, Navy Federal Credit Union, once you do get that history, you can go on your app and you can just solely just request an increase.
And they look, Navy Federal, that's the specific bank that I'm telling you to go run that play with. If you don't have access to Navy Federal, if you have a family member that was in the military, or you know, you can get access to that bank. You want to call them. As many accounts as you can, open them with them. Whether that's checking, savings, pledge loan, auto loan, mortgage, whatever the case may be, the more accounts you have, the better your internal relationship score is going to be with that bank. You can run this play with Navy Federal, and in 3 months, if you do it properly, in 3 months, you can get approved for $25,000.
Easily.
I've done it myself. I've had 3 clients who have done it for it.
I personally done it myself. Even before I met you, I personally done it myself. So you definitely got to use that leverage. It's not a finesse.
Right.
It is a very strategic thing you need to do. And of course, you need to go and talk to someone who's knowledgeable, which is Mr. Perez. So you guys, once again, Artie, I appreciate you having me on today, my brother. Once again, this guy is full of knowledge when it comes down to the credit repair industry. If you guys need to know more, feel free to contact him at any one of his panhandle tags. Business number, business, you got anything you want to give out?
Yeah, reach out to me on my Instagram, my business Instagram. You can reach out to me on my personal Instagram. I'll get back to you and I'll send everything that you need. Again, www.getcreditconnect.com is the website. The business Instagram is at @thecreditconnect_. The personal page is at Artie Perez __.
Once again, thank you guys tuning into another episode of Through the Line. Not only for people who know how to start the race fast, that finish all the way through the line. Thank you for having me, my brother.
Yes, sir.